Welcome to another episode, Focus on Finance. I'm Shirley Liu, your host. Well, as always, I always try to bring dynamic guests, dynamic speaker, and people that make a difference in the industry and to the world. And today, I have a good dear friend of mine, Enzo Giovanni, who was so instrumental. As most of you know, my previous episode, we talked about the IUL ASAP. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so excited. FIA ASAP is now launched. And with Enzo here, Enzo, I know that we've gone down the road a long way with each other, and you have been by my side, and you've been very, again, as always, there, know the stuff really well, know the industry, and studying it inside out. The FIA ASAP, I know the previous episode we talked about what it does, but I think it's good to kind of recap. What's the difference between the IUL ASAP that we previously talked versus the FIA ASAP? And today, I'd rather maybe go into a little bit more in-depth detail. Where does it apply? How can someone use this? And what the benefit with the FIA ASAP? So welcome, Enzo.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. The IUL ASAP book, obviously, that's about a specific type of life insurance, right? Permanent life insurance, cash value life insurance, and you can use that for many different things. FIA is also an insurance product, however, it is not life insurance, right? So, the FIA, it stands for Fixed Indexed Annuity, okay? And when you hear that word annuity, of course, a lot of people, and Shirley, you would know this obviously more than me, people have they have preconceptions when it comes to annuities.
Yes.
But what's important to understand about these FIAs, these modern day indexed annuities, is that much like the IUL, it's the modern version. Just like software, things are constantly updating and upgrading and evolving, and the financial industry is no different. And the thing I like about the index, these FIAs, Shirley, are specifically for retirement, and this is, I think, a very important thing. I'm so happy that we were able to get this book out there, because it's one of the biggest problems is awareness. People don't know that they have this option where, would you be interested in a product that you could take your retirement savings, put it somewhere, it's growing with the market, but you have no chance of losing your money. And today's, I actually think it's worth talking about the economy a little bit and what's going on, because it's precisely the type of thing that should make you think about these type of products.
Oh my goodness, speaking of economy, you talk about the elections coming up. And as you and I know, when it comes to election, and even the interest rate on the housing market right now is kind of
next month, right? The
election. Yeah. So all these kind of things that are happening out there in the industry that could affect your money.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm always an optimist, and I know that if what goes down must come up, and that includes the market. However, if there was ever a time, I truly feel, Shirley, I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but the reality is that we have, we're teetering. There's the real estate market is experiencing very unusual types of, it's a very unusual situation over there. Government spending is really high. They're talking about more taxes. Labor market has decreased. There's a lot of things going on right now. The election, it presents its own issue. They're even talking about aliens like every day. You know what I mean? And what happens when that shoe drops? No, for real. Because one of the reasons, and this is kind of funny, right? But seriously, one of the reasons they say that they don't want to talk about this stuff out loud is because they're afraid what's going to happen to the financial markets. And so, regardless of what it might be, the FIA protects your money. So when people are rolling over their money, and by the way, this is what happened, with my clients, they're taking their IRAs, their Roth IRAs. You can have a Roth IRA FIA.
Cool.
Okay? Think about that. So now, not only you don't have to worry about the downside, no losses, but you're growing, and because it's a Roth, it's tax-free. So you could take your Roth, transfer it, it keeps its Roth status, and now you have a Roth FIA. You could do that with your traditional IRA as well. And all you've done, it's still going to stay IRA, right? It's still going to be an IRA. You're just changing the environment.
And if it's happened to be a Roth, you don't have to take RMD, requirement minimum distribution, if you choose not to do so.
Exactly, you know.
And you know, one of the things is that, you know, I appreciate a lot of financial firms out there are beginning to recognize the benefit of the FIA. Because let me tell you, about 12, 13 years ago, when I go out there and talk about FIA, fixed index annuity, no one's really, well, first of all, they don't like it, they don't hear it. And again, some of them were saying that, you know, the old annuity stuff or old traditional things, time has changed, like you said. And so, you know, be open-minded, guys. Take a look at what you have, because if, for those of you who out there say, you know, I've got a retirement money and I want to grow money in the market, like you said, I don't want losses, and how about guaranteed lifetime income? Can you imagine having an account that gives you a guaranteed lifetime income regardless how long you live?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that's the thing I love about the FIA as well.
Yeah.
It's like the IUL that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
It also is actually fairly malleable, meaning that there are different FIAs. And, you know, one of the biggest knocks I see against FIAs is that, quote unquote, it's complicated. Well, it's actually not that complicated, but it does require you to sit down with somebody who knows what they're talking about. So it does require sitting down with a professional like ourselves, but the reality is it's not actually that complicated. You just need somebody to sort of kind of help you, teach you how to sort of evaluate and choose one. But the reality is that the basic premise is, yes, you can have one focused on guaranteed income,
Yep.
or have multiple guaranteed income options. And we're not even talking about annuitization. So if you're familiar with annuitization, you don't have to do it that way. That's what's another perk of the modern day FIAs. But also you can have them that's just growth focused,
I know.
right? I almost call it the non-annuity annuity, because you know, most people think of annuity as you give money to the company and you never get it back. That's not how these are. You have access to the money all the time. You can take all of your money back out, you know, in certain versions of these. So there's many different ways you can customize the FIA to suit your retirement savings goal.
Yep. So one of the things, if you really definitely want to search more, you can always go to FIAASAP.com, and that gives you a lot of information. You know, it's interesting. We had a viewer had called me. They saw one of our episodes, you know, that talk about the IUL and talk about the FIA, and she goes, "I want both." But here's the problem. She said, "I want both, but I don't have a lot of money."
Well, the good news is with the FIA, you know what? The minimum to start one is $5,000.
Yeah, and you know, when she came to me was in this particular case, I have to tell you, this was a true story. She didn't have a lot. This was from a 401k. She retired, had a 401k, but it was important to her that she doesn't lose any money because she was 72 years old. But then guess what? She also said, well, I want the life insurance for protection, because she cares about the long-term care. She cares about leaving legacy. She cares about having cash. But she said, but I don't have money to pay for the life insurance, the IUL. So guess what? FIA came to the rescue. And you know what we did? We took the 401k, converted to a...
I like this move that she's about to tell you. This is a good move.
Yeah, we took the 401k, converted into an annuity stream of income, and the stream of income turns around pay for the IUL. Now, if my client passes away, they get both. They get the annuity, the fixed index annuity, and an IUL. And it's amazing because I've just created a tax-free strategy on the IUL side.
Yeah, you layered it. You know, you took one product and you took the money from one to create another entity, right? Another account.
Yeah.
And that IUL, as we know, since it has multiple functions, you're really stretching your dollar, which
Absolutely.
is what we were trying to do.
And in this particular case, I mean, we just took a $5,000 stream of income from her 401k or IRA that converted to guaranteed stream of income, and turns right around, create another $150,000 tax-free strategy. So if she dies, she gets both. It is amazing. And of course, you know, she loves us, and she always said that we're the angels on earth.
Nice.
And yeah.
Well, you know what? There's another thing, though, I think it's important to mention about the FIA, and it's this. You know, there's a lot of people, maybe a lot of people watching the show right now.
Yeah.
They might have some portfolio, okay, and they might, and the danger, the thing you have to be careful with is, you know, there are statistics that suggest that most people who have these equity-focused stock portfolios, for example, they're too stock driven, meaning you are vulnerable, because what happens if there is a market crash, right? What happens if that happens? If you are older, we'll just say more mature, either close to retirement, at retirement, or even post retirement, and that you cannot take that hit, and you are precisely the person that should be considering very seriously something like an FIA, where you can still get growth, okay, but what you can go to sleep at night and not have to worry about waking up and all of a sudden seeing this huge hit to your money. You'll never have to worry about that with an FIA.
Absolutely. And then one of the things that folks out there are very concerned that, okay, how do I know my money won't get lost? How would I know a company would go bankrupt? And that's always a question that people brings up, that how do I can trust the company we do business with?
Yeah, well,
Can you share with the group?
Yeah, we have, there's state guarantee associations, so every state in the country has to have this. So every all the insurance companies, it's sort of state regulated. So you have these state associations, and they basically serve as the FDIC insurance. Okay, so and in some cases even more than what the typical FDIC insurance is. Now that's one of your backups, and I would suggest also that outside of that, but what's important is to make sure you're also dealing with a reputable company, right? Like this isn't about just trying to find the best numbers. Find a solid company. Most of these solid companies have been around for a long time. They're very, very solvent, okay? And when we have disasters like 9/11 and things like that, it's the insurance companies that come in. They are the ones with the deep pockets. They take care of it, and it's all good because they are regulated by the federal government. They have to have the money accessible to serve all of their current clients. So it's a very different regulation there.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to mention to the audience, a lot of these companies, if you look at AM Best, Moody's ranking, in addition to S&P as well, these are very credible ranking out there, and even Comdex rating, that's how you measure the company. Are they A-rated, are they B-rated, are they C-rated? And it's got different categories that how they're rated on those, and it's amazing that I know we work with and represent some of the best in the industry. And
literally the best.
Yeah. And just because you haven't heard of it, guys, don't believe that it doesn't exist, because it does exist out there. And I know sometimes if people said, it sounds like you have the cake and eat it too. Well, guess what? You could have the cake and eat it too.
Yes, you can. And with the FIAs, mention the website.
Yeah, and again, it's if you want to reach out, FIAASAP.com, FIAASAP.com, or you can also go IULASAP.com. Both of them, it's available for you to know, and we love to connect with you. Again, this is Shirley Lou and Associates signing off. Until next time, you can reach us at 703-608-1203. Until next time.